Hey, so if your customer is not a big enterprise company, but it's more like a small business or a local business, um, it can be really hard to find lists and create lists of companies or prospects, people to market to and to do sales to. So we're going to go through a how-to on scraping and building multiple sources and building out a list of prospects to contact. We're going to be using Phantom Buster and Import.io, and we're going to go through multiple steps. I'm going to show you a couple of different things you can do, and we're going to start. Our example is going to be Houzz, grabbing interior designers in Austin, Texas, because it's easy enough for me. So step one is to find a directory or a search results URL that has a list of companies that you might want to contact. In this example, Houzz, we have professionals, interior designers in Austin. So we want to contact interior designers and decorators in Austin, and there's 1,628 of them, custom curated just for us right here. That's step one. Step two is scraping those results. My favorite tool to use personally is Import.io. There's a free plan that you get up to 1,000. You can also figure out how to do this manually. There's a lot of other tools. Almost all of these Chrome extensions here are scraper tools. You can also find someone on Upwork for relatively cheap, 50, 100, 150 bucks, usually in Eastern Europe somewhere, that will do a great job scraping for you. So you should end up with a link to a URL to a page like this that has actual more, relevant contact data. So let's just build up all the URLs. Clearly, it goes page by page and delivers 15 results. So let's just scrape the first 1,000. So I copy and pasted all of these URLs that we made into here. When this is done, we're going to have a long list of nearly 1,000 URLs that go to a page like this. And we're going to build a scraper to pull the info we want off of these pages, also with Import.io. So step three is scrape these profiles and get the data we want. We've got about 1,000 links to 1,000 profiles. We're going to scrape all of them for all the good info, and then we're going to figure out what other info we need. Do we need more websites? Do we need more contact data for actual people? Do we need socials? So we're at the end of step three. We scraped all of these results. We have their link to their profile. We've got their name. We've got their websites, their locality, so we can use those in the Google Maps scraper, which I'll go over. We've got their contact info and a bunch of other stuff. So we're just going to clean this document up a little bit, parse these names out and addresses and whatnot. But yeah, we've got a very usable document now. Step four is to get contact data, socials, any email address, phone numbers, corporate emails, contacts, blah, blah, blah. Get all the good stuff that we can use to do things and contact people and market to people and do sales. Get all that stuff using their website link. And we're going to do that. But before we do that, we're going to do sort of step 3B. And step 3B is essentially, as you can see here, the website link, you probably actually can't see because it's too small, but the website link is a Houzz redirect. So there's going to be some situations where you're not going to be able to find a website, even though you might find company names or company addresses. And the reason I sort of do 3B is because this also works super well for small business brick and mortar directories or just any kind of small business directory source. Google Maps. Google Maps is incredible, an incredible data source. And what you'll notice is the URL structures on the search are really, really, really replicable. So if I take Moss Designs, San Antonio, Texas, MAF Designs, whatever, Moss Designs, ta-da! This result is going to have a website link in it, and a phone number, and an address. So this is a really good data source, right? And what you'll notice is it's Google Maps place / Moss plus designs, blah, blah, blah. But if we do, so that's a search result. That's not like a list of search results. And that might sound confusing, but let me just change place to search and remove this. And let me just use the word like design. So say we just wanted to find like, we wanted to find every designer, and pluses are obviously what spaces are, so let's go plus, Texas. Designers, Texas. So we're doing a search for designers in Texas, and we're gonna get a list of results. Obviously, that's not a great search query, but you can see that the query is map / search / designers. So what we're going to do is we're going to build out all of these URLs. Say we didn't have websites at all for our Houzz guys. We're going to build out all these URLs that are going to be basically the name and the locality, changing the plus sign, the spaces to plus signs using a find replace. We're going to go googlemaps.com / google.com /map /search / and then whatever piece we make. With the name and locality with plus signs. And then we're going to load them up into Phantom Buster, which is like the greatest tool ever. And I highly suggest it. I think probably everyone that's pre-Series A should have a Phantom Buster account. It's just incredible. They've got all sorts of Phantoms, which are like pre-made scrapers or like little hacky things you can do, and it's just incredible. So, for example, they've got a Google Maps search export. So we just load up a ton of queries and we just get the results. And so we're going to use that. If you don't have a Phantom Buster account, go get one. I have a referral link for it, actually, because I send them so much business, which I'll include in the link below or something. I guess that's what people say. And yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. As you can see, we have results for those scrapes. Right here are a bunch of beautifully formatted websites. On to step 4, which is essentially using these websites to get contact data and any other data points that we might want. So step 4, getting contact data from these websites. We're going to use another scraper. It's called the Data Scraping Crawler. And we're going to load up all of the websites essentially. And what we're going to do is we're going to only go to the first page of that website, and we're going to scrape any socials off the footers or the nav. We're going to scrape emails, phone numbers, socials including even YouTube and LinkedIn and whatnot. And we're going to do that to all the websites. So let's go ahead and do that. So as you can see, we have a bunch of results from those web scrapes. Facebook, phone number, email, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. Using a VLOOKUP, we've added them into the document, and we've got a bunch of awesome contact info that we can use. And this is just from the Houzz website links. Next, what we'll do is we'll do the same thing, or if we even wanted to, we could do the exact same thing, but for the websites we got from Google Maps. And we should end up with a pretty high percentage, if not the overwhelming majority, where we get contact data for pretty much everybody. So before we end, there's a couple of other things we can do that I think are worth mentioning and will fit different scenarios well. One is using an email validator tool with names and websites. So we got a lot of names, because in contact info right here, you see Melissa Streetman, and we have the website. So there's a couple things we can do, and there's a lot of tools. Hunter, iOS, definitely my favorite. Also, another referral link to these guys below. Use it, don't use it, whatever. The bulk tools are incredible. We can do a domain search, which you'll just search the entire domain, not just the first page, for all the email addresses, and it'll pull names too, usually. We can upload a CSV or an Excel file of first names, last names, and domains, and get back the emails for those people. We can also take the emails that we did scrape and run them through a verifier to make sure that we're not just going to send a spam. So that's really valuable. If you don't have first names or last names, there's some other things you can do to get those. The free way would be to use LinkedIn. And if your companies are on LinkedIn, of course, again, that's another Phantom Buster tool. Like I said, Phantom Buster is incredible. There's a lot of LinkedIn scrapers and Sales Navigator scrapers. Basically, what you'll do is you'll use one of these here, pre-built, to scrape find the company's LinkedIn profile. Once you find the company's LinkedIn profile, you'll run another Phantom Buster on the Sales Navigator search export. Probably will build out some URLs, and you'll pull the contacts, the people, their profiles that fit the titles that you want at those companies on LinkedIn. And so that's another really great way to get first name, last name, and website, because company about sections have websites almost always. And if you don't have website, if you do have website, it's a great way to find the people within the contact range you want. This still might be a step you might want to do. Another great thing to do is just to use a data platform. There's a lot of them. Discover.org and ZoomInfo, those are going to be really, really expensive. Probably the best bang for your buck that I've seen is Apollo. They've got a startup data program, $99 per month, and that's incredible. There's no bulk select. I believe unless you pay for the year, could be different, but even just like their normal pricing is totally worth it as well. And they comes with some data or some email sending tools, and I think a dialer too. So maybe you can find use of those. But regardless, you can I included a link for this too below, but you can sign up and essentially you can upload the list of your companies in a CSV and then say, find me these contacts at these companies within these titles. Again, it won't be a perfect match. None of this will be, but it's another way to get data quickly, really, really quickly, and really accurate data. They've got really good stuff. They also have socials and dials and emails. So those are some other things you can do to kind of supercharge this processor. End up with, a lot of data you can use on your prospects. Also with Phantom Buster, once you have that data, there's a lot of interesting things you can do with some of these scrapers. For example, you comment on every Facebook post for every single one of the company's Facebook profiles. You scrape, say, hey, we'd love to chat with you about including you on our next, best designers in Austin, Texas, kind of thing, right? So yeah, that concludes it.